Hi, and welcome to the Fresh Performing Arts Project. Today we've got Miranda Tunaville, who is an amazing dancer, and I'm super excited to chat with her today. She's been on London's West End, she's been in America dancing, she's been all over Australia. She is phenomenal. She is Miranda. Hi, Miranda.
Hello, what a talk up. Nice.
Well, it's all true.
Oh my
nice kitchen.
Thank you. This is the full-time dance studio. Doubles up.
Is that where you're teaching your classes at the moment?
Teaching here between Lucy and I from 4 o'clock. It's just not available.
Right.
And then well, it's so funny because our bedrooms and the lounge room's over there, but our bathroom's over there. So like mid-teaching, like we'll often just like, guys, or like someone will just pop in and get a snack and then come out. It's so funny.
It's Zoom life right now, isn't it?
It is, but kitchen/dance studio. Welcome.
Love it. You got to do what you got to do. I'm super excited to chat with you, being a young dancer in the field right now. First of all, have you always wanted to be a dancer, or did you have another dream, or what was the dream when you were growing up?
To dance. It was it. I didn't know. I sort of go with how I feel, and it was that there was no other option.
Right.
And that there was just nothing else. And I remember my careers counselor were like, well, you need a backup. And I was like, excuse me, there is no backup. So it was easy for me. Okay. And I'm lucky I had that passion for it.
Yeah,
so,
cool.
Yeah, there wasn't a backup plan. But I mean, as I'm getting older, I'm finding interest in other things. But like I said, I go with what I feel. So it's just following that path. But right now it's still dancing, even if it's just in the kitchen.
In the kitchen. Were there any people who like supported you in getting there, and like who were they? Were they in the industry, outside of the industry? How did they help?
100%. My mum was always a big dreamer. I want to do this, I want to do that. And she'd always like, well, someone has to do it. Someone has to go and travel the world and be on stage. Like someone has to do that job. Why can't it be you? And Sue Ellen Shook as well was always like she was a hard ass, but a very nurturing one. So I was really lucky to learn from her and kind of get like the inside scoop, because she's always worked as well.
Yeah.
And to have, like, when I started learning from Sue Ellen was when she did, she was always doing musicals, but she'd done Moulin Rouge recently then too, when I first started training with her. So it was really good to have someone teach me that was living my dream sort of thing. And it was good to know that it's possible because she's right there and she's teaching me how to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that teaches from experience.
Yeah.
She's like, I feel like Sue Ellen is like the mama of the dance industry in Melbourne.
She is. There's without a doubt.
Yeah, with her whip. Yeah.
She'll whip and then she'll give you a big
completely. Yeah. So tell me about your training. Did you finish VCE?
No, I didn't finish VCE. So I danced with Sue and I did ballet and whatever, like after school dance classes. And at that point I was really unhappy at school, and it was like, oh, I'm just doing this to finish so I can dance. Like there was no other option. And like I said about my mum before, she's sort of like, if I was passionate about doing hair, she would have encouraged me to get a hair apprenticeship, or it was like, if you know what you want to do, just do it, because she's a teacher as well, and she sees so many kids just finish because they have to. Whereas if she gets a student that is like, I want to be an electrician, she's like, great, go do that. You can do it right now. So she was, supportive of that. And so was Sue Ellen. She was like, if you want to do it, get in there and do it. So I finished after year 11, and then I went to full time from there.
Okay, great. And what's for you? I mean, that was a little while ago. How long ago was full time for you? It's okay, I'm far older than you, sweetie, so it's okay. But
I want to say like a couple of years ago, but I think it was like in 2011 or something.
Okay, so back then, what was that experience like for you doing a full-time course? Was it full-time dance or full-time musical theatre? What did you do?
I was full-time dance, so we got in there at 9 o'clock and just trained all day. It was great. I loved it. The first little while was so hard adjusting. My body was like, oh, what is happening?
Sure.
But then I got into it, loved the training. The training was great. There was a lot of good teachers in there. So I was lucky to have that. But it was great.
What else, was there any negative aspects to doing full-time course?
The only negative I would say is that everything's got politics. So if you were like, they had, I guess, maybe they had some favorites, and if you weren't a favorite, maybe you were missed. But then, you know, once, you know, I guess everyone is noticed in their own time. So maybe,
Sure.
I don't know, politics, I guess. Got them.
Okay. I mean, and that's the thing in our industry, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of who you know, not what you know. So how do you get around that, Miranda? How do you cope with that? And how do you, even though you might be passed over for a role or a job or something, knowing that actually I could have done that really well, and the person who got it maybe got it because they know the choreographer or whatever. How do you mentally cope with that? Because that will happen all the time.
I just stopped playing the game and trying to. I just said, I'm going to do me. And if you're about that, cool. If not, I don't want to know about it. Because I always would dance for me. Like, it was always made me feel good. So when I started doing it for other people, like wanting that job and wanting that, it kind of started to undo me. Whereas when I just said, you know what, I'm going to go to this audition for me, not for you, not for your job. I want to do it because I want to dance and I'd love to perform. And I guess that sort of switched it for me. Because if I was what they wanted, then cool. But if not, I did it for me anyway.
Yeah, right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
It just made it more about me and stopped caring about the politics and stopped caring about it. I was like, I'm just dancing because I want to dance. And if you're about it, that's so awesome. Let's do it together. If not, that's also fine. Like, dance with whoever you want, pick whoever you want.
So you kept it more internal than external, not worrying about the outside world as much.
Yeah. But I, you know, of course, went through that, like trying to fit in and trying to be, you know, but what's the point? It was tiring.
Trying to be what you think they want you to be.
100%. And much happier just doing me, you know.
Just doing you. Fantastic. So I'm just taking a guess here. You didn't go straight from full-time into a full-time employment in the industry, did you?
No, but I was gigging from really young. I got a job when I was like 16, doing like a Wiggles high five sort of situation, like a girl band. We would do festivals and stuff like that. So I was gigging the whole time, but not a full-time role in it.
Right.
And I would teach as well, but not full-time.
Okay, so to make ends meet at the beginning, what kind of work were you doing?
Oh, any gig. I was the yes. I was the yes to anything and everything. And I would just do anything.
Yeah.
So I had, I'd always have like a little casual job, but I was always very upfront with them. I'd say, I'm a dancer and this is always going to be second, but I'm just going to be upfront with you and tell you that. And they were like, okay.
Yeah.
But because I was casual anyway, it was pretty fine, like to swap shifts and whatever. But we'd, you know, any gig, freestyle, any random cost, like just standing there and waving, and you just say anything. And if you've got an hour free, then you've got an hour for a gig. So it would just be packed.
What a great way to look at it, because I think there's a lot of people that come out of full-time and go, well, where's my musical theatre career, or why am I not stepping straight into that cruise ship, or where there's a lot of, you know, working hard until you get there, right?
100%. Yeah. Sue Ellen was my teacher, so it was like yes to everything, and if you've got an hour, you've got an hour for a gig, so you can do it.
Yeah, great.
And I think from there you kind of get momentum, and when you've got momentum in the industry, it just builds. Yep. So it's not always stepping out of full-time, getting a contract. It's stepping stones, and it's great. It's fun on the way. Yeah, exactly.
And what would you say is probably been the worst job that you've had that you can think of?
Worst job.
That you're like standing there going, oh, what am I doing here?
Okay, so there was this one. It was for a music festival, like a real trance raver festival from overseas, and the organizers were all Spanish or something.
Yeah.
So there was a miscommunication with the booking.
Oh God, yeah.
They had hired like 20 actors, but they'd hired like 20 of us girls to like what we thought was a freestyle situation. Yeah. To be like up on podiums and on the stage or whatever. And so we get our costumes, which were like, think hippie, but like not a typical sort of freestyle costume.
Sure. Yeah.
And then like briefs, like acting briefs.
Ooh.
And so we went on stage, we would have to, the brief was to go out in the crowd and act out the brief. And mine was like, everybody had different ones and everybody had different costumes. Like mine was, you have to go and try and catch a pig and then cook it and eat it in the rave. Like as the people are raving, I'm supposed to run out and pretend like I'm looking for a pig, catch it and eat it. And then like some of the other ones, one of the girls had like a skin costume on with like big fake boobs and a big bum and like leaves on her. And then another one was an artist, and it was like you have to go and like find your muse in the crowd and then paint her. And it was just like, what?
What are we here for?
We just thought we rocked up for a freestyle job.
Yeah.
And it was like, we were like, this has been a miscommunication.
Was it fun though?
It was fun, and I will say that ended really well for me because they were like, all right, we need one person to put this giant chicken costume on, get in an inflatable boat and crowd surf. And I was like, I'll do it. It's me. It was the most random thing ever, but it was really fun.
That's amazing. How I never heard that story before. That's fantastic.
Funny one.
So, you've done a few amazing jobs. I was going to say the highlight, but you've done so many cool things. So you've been to the US. That was for cheer. Is that right?
Oh yeah, we did hip hop competition, which was so fun. Back when I was dancing at Dancer's Edge, Phil Haddad taught us our comp routine. That was great. It was hard work.
How many counts does he get in each count exactly? About 18,000?
You could fit about 8 steps in a one count.
Yeah, totally.
Just cram it in there. Yep. But it worked. I mean, we ended up getting 6th, I think, which was great. There was like 30 entries or something.
30, and that's in the world, right? And don't you have
to? Yeah, so they were from everywhere. You
have to compete in Australia first to be able to get the right to go over there. Is that right?
Yeah, so you compete in the nationals. And so if you win nationals, and then there's a section that's the world's bid. So if you compete in that section, so can't remember how many of us were in there, but if you win that section, then you can go over to that competition.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah.
It was hard work. We went to Dallas for a couple of weeks before and just trained all day, every day. And then when we went there, the competition was we stayed in Disney World, and it was at the Epcot Center. And so it was just training every day. But afterwards we were at Disney World. So it was like, let's go play.
Crazy.
It was really fun.
You must have been pretty young having that experience.
Maybe I was like 22, 20, 22,
amazing.
23.
Yeah, cool.
I don't know, something around there.
Yeah. And then you've been on the cruise liner.
Yeah, that was fun.
Roller skating on a cruise liner, and you didn't know how to skate, right? So this is like the idea of being thrown to a pack of wolves and saying, and go.
That was, talk about getting thrown in the deep end.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
That was hard, but it was funny, like lots of funny stories, because I'd learned a little bit to be able to do it. But if the boat was
sending you some Facebook clips, like this is how you stop, and this is you're like, Shani, can you just tell me how to do a few little skating moves? I was like, yes, I'll film it, send it via messenger.
I remember there was one thing you said, you like tits over toes or something like that.
Yes, tits over toes.
And I remember, because it was a disco show, so the thing, there was a big disco ball, and if it was a Rocky, it would swing like this.
Oh God.
And I would look at it, and I'd be in the wings ready to go, and I'd literally shut my eyes and go, tits over toes, you're a smart dancer. Tits over toes, you're a smart dancer. You can do it. Like, I would have to pump myself up to be able to do it.
Love it.
Didn't always work out, but I did it.
Yeah, right. And so what about cruise? I've never been on a cruise liner. I've heard lots of stories and stuff. And a lot of young performers will head that way. So what's the best part and what's the worst part about being on a cruise liner?
Best part is you get to travel, and it's free, and you make fun friends, and you get to experience all these great places. That's the best part. I mean, you get to perform all the time. That's great. I love it. Like it's amazing.
Yeah.
I think the worst part would be there's not a lot of freedom in the sense that I mean, maybe it's different on other ships, but in mine, you weren't allowed to the passenger areas before a certain time. And you had to wear a uniform and to go up at certain times, or there was just like restrictions in the living, and there wasn't any privacy. Like you couldn't, if someone wanted to talk to you, you couldn't switch your phone off, or just be like, because you lived on the corridor with everyone, and if you're not there, well, you're on a boat, so and you can only go to certain parts. So it was that was, but my contract was quite long. I think I was gone for 8 months in total. So I think the only reason I have that to say is because I was just a little bit over it at that point.
And what ship was that?
I was on Princess, but I loved it. It was great. Like, gosh, got to travel Alaska. Like the things you see are out of this world. Like it was amazing. Yeah.
Oh, look, it was definitely on my to-do list.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely something you should try and tick it off if you're a young performer.
Oh yeah, why not? Why not? Yeah. That's the thing. Just do everything. Like I said, just say yes to everything.
Say yes to everything. You've also you did a tour on the West End as well. Piccadilly, was that which? Yeah. So that was in a dance contemporary show. Yeah, it was
a fusion of ballet and contemporary and hip hop, and I mean that was amazing as well. I mean, who doesn't want to go to London and dance with a big troop of like all their friends? It was really great. And London, what a place! Oof.
Yeah, cool.
We'll go back there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. I also know, like, you obviously have done a whole heap of corporates and stuff. That's how we know each other. I also know you as Fairy Rara. You didn't seem to bring that up in the amazing.
That's not on my CV.
Yeah, so Miranda has been a fairy as well. But in the way of, what was my question going to be now? We were talking about corporates. You've done a whole heap of other work. That's what I was going to say. So within that as well, I see your amazing makeup skills. So you've gone on to do a makeup course as well, right?
Yeah. So my thinking was, when I have maybe hopefully 25 babies or something like that.
Yes.
And my knees simply won't carry me across the dance floor. Like, what will I do to stay involved? Because I love, performing and being around that atmosphere it's electric. Yeah. And I was thinking, I just wanted to stay involved in that. And I've always loved makeup. I've always thought it's just something that I've always loved. Yeah. And so a natural thing for me to want to do to stay involved, I thought, well, if I can't be on stage, I'll be behind the scenes and work with the artists. Yeah. I mean, I dance and I'm a choreographer and whatnot, but I thought that's just another way to stay involved. And it's something that I've always loved. And I thought, why not? Just do it.
I think as an employer, what I see with that kind of thing, I mean, it's great that you've got this, it's almost like a fallback. When someone said, what's your fallback? You almost have a fallback, but I see it as another element to why you should be hired. So if you know that you're hiring this dancer who cannot put makeup on, like it's really like you look at them like, oh God, please, can someone go help her? That's extra work, So just to have extra skills, whether that be costume design or makeup or hair or any of that kind of stuff, totally makes you very much more employable. So I think it's a great thing to, keep adding little notches to your belt.
Yeah, 100% tools in the toolkit,
Absolutely. So this time of life right now is so ridiculously weird and trying, and the ups and downs are real. So as a performer who is used to getting her hair did and makeup on and nails perfect and gorgeous outfits and heading out and, dancing at the clubs and then going to this gig and like every hour is a gig, how are you looking after yourself in your kitchen?
It's been interesting. I feel like I've definitely gone on a big journey of learning, like being performers and performing as much as we do, it's hard not to put value on getting an applause and you get dressed up and you get that applause and it just all of a sudden it wasn't there, and it's like it was finding value in the more not so loud parts of who I am, which has been really good as well, because it's instant gratification. That was great. Good job. Yeah. It's an instant.
Totally.
So it's just been interesting doing that for myself in, like I said, the softer parts of who I am, which has been great. And, you know, getting my dance on in the kitchen, that's also been, and you know what, actually, I'm really blessed that I get along with my housemate so well, and we dance together all the time, and she jumps into my classes, I jump into her classes. So I've been really lucky to have a housemate and a great friend that I, you know, can bounce off and vibe with.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when there are bad days, and we all have them, mental health days that you just like, well, this day sucks, what do you do? Yeah. How do you get through that day?
Well, it can't last forever. That's all I think. And I can always put myself to bed nice and early. So if I'm ever in that place and I think it's fair to say that everyone is having an off day here and there. And so I do feel like it's normal. And so to cope with it, I just sort of say to myself, you're allowed to be in this, just go to bed early. So tomorrow's a fresh start. To pull myself out of it, I go for a walk, you know, I just put myself in a different environment. I put on I just change my scenery, and that seems to help.
That's a really good point.
Yeah. I just put myself in a different space physically, and then that usually shifts it mentally. Yeah,
fantastic. For you. And I think, So what about any young performers that are coming up? Do you have any advice for them? Obviously, we have no idea what's happening in the future in the way of COVID craziness. But if life was to go on as usual, as of, 2021, all the courses back on, all works back, what would be your advice being a young performer? Or maybe let's go a young dancer. What would your advice be?
I think obviously don't stop training and, dancing. I think it's obviously important to keep the skill up, but I mean, when I was younger, I was so focused on, I have to be this size, and I have to be like this, and I have to wear that to an audition, and I have to be that to get that. And I think something in this quiet time is to forget about that and just really work on, instead of fitting their mold, make your mold and be really happy and feel good about that, and bring that to the table instead of trying to twist it to fit somebody else's. Make your mold, make it solid, and then when everything does go back to normal, you can go, here I am, I feel really good about it. Don't worry about their mold. Focus on loving yourself, every inch of it, because that reads over fitting in what you think is what they want.
Yeah. It's beautiful advice. I love it. So, Rara, what are you doing during COVID? What other classes? Can people join your classes?
Oh, yes. So, I do Tuesday night is ladies' night.
Woo!
So, I know, it's so fun.
Is that for professional dancers?
It's beginner friendly. So what I'm finding is, I do occasionally pop on a class that is for more the advanced working dancers. So that'll be every once in a while. Right. But this ladies' night, I wanted to make it a broad ability. So it's beginner friendly, but I do it with my housemate. She's a professional dancer as well. It's just about like having a drink if you want, having your water there, but just feeling good about yourself. We just want to feel good. We want to feel sexy. We want to feel powerful. I don't know about you, but I haven't taken trackies off in months. So if I'm going to be in my trackies, I want to feel a little bit, I want to get my groove back. It's just about getting in touch with that. You get up, get dressed up, go out, you'd feel good. Someone would be like, hey, you want a drink? Yeah. It's just a feel good, get your spirits up, let's dance, let's booty shake, let's just have fun. That's what it is. And it's beginner friendly. So I'm finding that a lot of people that I used to dance with when I was younger or used to dance come and you just want to smile and have fun. I feel like that is so important. And I feel like right now, this last stint of it is tough. And I feel like people, like, it's just so great to see everybody laughing and smiling on the other end, because it is more about, instead of being a hard, challenging dance class, it's feel good about who you are dance class.
Fantastic.
That's what it is.
That's awesome. So the best place to find you would be Instagram. Would that be right?
Instagram, Facebook. We've also actually, speaking of classes, on Friday, my housemate and I are doing I don't want to say it's daggy dancing, but it's definitely get a glass of wine, get your 80s gear on, and have a laugh with us. So that's on Friday night as well. That's through Born to Boogie.
Oh,
so
Born to Boogie. They do amazing things as well, don't they?
Yeah. So we've got a Friday night dance party happening as well if you want to come on down to that. So that's on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram or Facebook.
What's the handle?
For
either.
Oh, Instagram is Miranda_, and Facebook would just be my
your name.
My name.
Yeah, great.
So good luck.
Okay.
Last name.
I will pop it in like the little, show notes thing so people can find you that way. And then once this is all over, you'll be back to Rise Nation as well, won't you?
Yes. Oh my gosh, it's been so hard not being round the clock sweating, but I'm really excited to get back there. Just hardcore cardio, half an hour. It's to music, there's lights, it's a party, and you don't even realize you're sweating until you finish the class, and then you're like, oh, it looks like I've had a shower. That's how it is. So it's so fun.
Okay.
So come on down to that, guys. Half an hour, amazing sweat sesh.
Awesome. Miranda, thank you so much for today. You are awesome, and you're such a ray of sunlight. Like, I love seeing your face. Can't wait to see it in real life and squeeze your cheeks and give you a big cuddle.
No, I can't wait to dance again.
Yeah, no, me too. Me too. Well, maybe I'll come in and boogie with you on a Tuesday.
Come boogie on a Tuesday. Come on a Friday for sure. You'll have fun with that.
80s. I've got costumes.
You and Benji need to be in that class. It'll be so funny. Oh my God. Actually, you really should. And come on Tuesday.
All right. All right. Thanks, Miranda. See ya.
Thanks for having me. Love you. Bye.
Bye.